Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about HOMEWORX Frozen Balsam. Full disclosure before I get into this review, you guys, this candle was sent to me in PR by Slatkin & Co. A huge thank you to them for doing that. This candle is actually not new to HOMEWORX. In fact, I feel like this is one of their staple holiday fragrances that has come back year after year. But considering I have been purchasing from HOMEWORX since 2018, can you guys believe that I have actually never had this candle in my collection? So being that they sent it to me for review purposes, as well as, just out of my own sheer curiosity, I thought that it would be good to give it a whirl and share my thoughts with you guys. So this is one of their standard 4-wick 18-ounce vessels that I am reviewing for you today. This fragrance is actually available in a variety of formats over at the Slatkin & Co. website. This fragrance is available in the hand soap. It's available in the hand and body lotion. It's available in the room sprays. They have a travel spray. It's available in air fresheners. I also believe I saw it available in a 50-ounce luxe size. They have it in a 3-wick, reed diffusers. I feel like this, like I said, similar to kind of like, say, hot cider donut or limoncello cupcake. This is one of HOMEWORX's like prized baby types of fragrances. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys what I think of it. So as you can see, we've got the beautiful photographic wrap-around label. HOMEWORX does such a beautiful job with their packaging and the ambiance that is created when these candles are lit up. The specific pour date of this candle that I am reviewing for you is March 12th, 2025. The fragrance notes listed on the bottom of this candle are fir balsam, frosted ozone, bergamot, Oakmoss, and Evergreen. All right, so I have made it no secret here on my channel that when it comes to tree fragrances, I do tend to like fir fragrances. My personal preference when it comes to tree fragrances is that I tend to gravitate towards more woody, warm. I kind of like the feel of tree fragrances when they are more so like Christmas tree vibe, I guess. Thinking of being in like a warm house during the winter, you've got the Christmas tree set up. This fragrance is not in that vein. And yet, I actually really like this. This scent to me is definitely more outdoors, fresh tree. This definitely, that ozone note is definitely present in this candle, which is why I think it's actually appropriately named Frozen Balsam. If this were named Frozen Balsam and I got like a warm and cozy vibe from it, probably would be mislabeled, right? So I feel like the name of this candle is actually very appropriate for what I am smelling. Now, I will say the bergamot note in here, it's not like, say, your spring or summertime candles where you get the bergamot, where bergamot is a type of citrus. It lends a little bit of brightness to this candle, which I would say that goes hand in hand with the frosted ozone to make this candle feel a little bit more fresh, not like cologne fresh or anything like that, but this is definitely, it gives you the feeling of being like fresh outdoors. It might have been like after a freshly fallen snow, but the sun is also out. That's kind of what I think of when I'm smelling this candle. We've got that juxtaposition, right, of like freshly fallen snow covering the forest, but it's a really sunny, crisp day. The air is actually really, really chilly and crisp. That's what I think of when I smell this candle. Now, that oak moss note and the evergreen also lend a definitely more greenness to this fragrance. I would say that if you are somebody who typically steers away from tree fragrances because you don't like overly astringent or piney types of scents, this is actually going to be a pretty safe bet because this to me, like I said, is definitely just more like, it's like being outdoors in a forest in the wintertime, but it's not overtly piney or woody. It's definitely more of, I just feel like it's more of like a vibe of being out in the forest, I guess. But you're not like sticking your nose right in the tree. It's more the setting of, like I said, freshly fallen snow in the forest, but it's a bright, sunny, but still crisp and cold day. That's basically what I think of when I smell this fragrance. I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit. Now, for me personally, you guys, I am just going to say this to me is not a Christmas type of fragrance. It's not a holiday fragrance. This isn't really a scent that I would burn in December because I don't think a fragrance like this is something that I associate with the traditional holiday season, which for me is Christmas. That's the holiday my family celebrates. However, I do think that this is a really nice fragrance, even right now, as we are heading into, late October, November. If you're looking for some transitional scents to kind of get you prepared for more wintertime fragrances, you might like this. I mentioned in my review of Kringle Candles Cranberry that I'm really liking pairing this fragrance with Cranberry and Kringle Candles Away in a Manger. With HOMEWORX, I could actually see this pairing really nicely with Winter Fireside, which I have in my collection. I could see this also pairing really nicely with Christmas Joy. That's kind of like an orange pomander type of scent. It's kind of a little more spicy and clove heavy. I actually think that those combined together would be really nice probably after the holidays. That's really primarily where I am smelling this fragrance and I'm thinking this would be really nice, like January type of fragrance. After you've put away all of the Christmas decor, you're wanting like a fresh start, but again, it's still pretty cold and chilly. This is going to be a nice, bright, kind of like happy fragrance, but it's still appropriate for winter. Overall, you guys, I'm actually really impressed with how much I'm liking this fragrance. Wasn't really sure that it would be in my wheelhouse. Now, is it something that I feel like is going to be a must-have for me moving forward? Honestly, you guys, I don't know. I could see myself repurchasing it just because I like the fragrance combo that I have going with, like I said, those other fragrances that I mentioned earlier. I do really like that combination. But for me as a reviewer, maybe this is where I'll put it. For me as a reviewer, I'm always trying to keep a handle on my collection, which means that I become very, very picky about the fragrances that I repurchase. But if I was not a reviewer and just kind of burned for leisure, I could see myself repurchasing this candle. That's how I feel about it. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So I have actually had this one lit for about 4 hours at this point. Now, most of my 2025 pours for HOMEWORX have been burning pretty hot and fast. This one has kind of been an exception for most of my experiences with the 2025 pour dates on these HOMEWORX candles, because this one actually, it's not burning as hot and fast. You can see it's not developing puny wicks. I'm not having any issues like that. But I will say that I did notice the first couple of burns. This one took quite a while to pool out completely rim to rim. Strength and throw on this candle, I think, has also been affected, I would say. I think that, like I said, is probably just due to the fact that these wicks are not burning as hot and strong. Strength and throw on this one, I'm going to give it about a 6. It performs a lot better in my closed concept spaces. Out in the living room, it gets a little bit lost. Like, I can kind of detect it, but I really have to sniff around for it in the open spaces. So I would say that in this format, and for, again, if you're planning to purchase this anytime soon, just based off of the wicks, I'm thinking that is probably the cause for the lower throw. If you're wanting to burn it in an open concept, I might give some pause. But if you're okay with burning this fragrance in a more closed concept space, I think you're going to be pretty happy with the performance. So, like I said, this candle is currently available on the Slatkin & Co. website, as well as in a variety of other formats. I do have an affiliate discount code with Slatkin & Co. It is Katie's Joyful Life. It should save you 15% on orders over $40. At the time that I'm filming this, I think that they are running, they have started to mark down some of their fall fragrances. And so you might be able to save some extra money if you're wanting to stock up on some of your favorites. But overall, you guys, I am going to say that this candle does get 2 thumbs up from me. The only way that I would maybe take like half a thumb down is if you're wanting to burn this in an open concept, you might need to pop it in a hurricane or maybe let it sit a little bit longer. Maybe, if you're planning to burn this in January or February, you could probably buy it now, let it sit and see if see if it strengthens a little bit. We do know that HOMEWORX candles do typically do that. At least that has been my experience. So let me know in the comment section down below if this is one of the candles that is in your winter lineup year after year. I can't believe that this is the first time that I have reviewed this one or even had this in my collection, but it is true. So please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.